Hello, welcome back to On Air with Dr. Pete. I'm your host, Dr. Pete Economo, and I have a fun topic for you today, the dad bod. Have you heard of that, the dad bod? This is a phenomenon that is kind of hitting social media, and it is across the globe. I mean, this is not just an American thing. It was coined somewhere in like the mid 2010s, and it refers to a male physique that is neither lean nor overly muscular, and it's often characterized by a little extra body fat, particularly in the midsection. And it is a very funny thing because we have a lot of stuff that's going on around body image and fat shaming. I mean, some really in the world in the of Ozempic right now, and it's always been in Hollywood where skinny, emaciated was seen as pretty and sexy. That's obviously in the modeling, and then in the last maybe 2 decades we have a little bit more of curvature allowed or permitted, and so when it came to men, uh, there was never really any kind of name for any of this stuff. And so now we have this. So pop culture has embraced this term, and it's certainly more realistic. It gives me a little bit more hope. I always joke and say that I never, even as a swimmer who compete at the highest level, I would be at Olympic trials and everyone had 8 and 10 and 12 packs. And then there was me. And I was lean and I was fit. I'm not trying to say any of that. And what I want to just say is that all of us have some kind of body dysmorphia. And body dysmorphia is a psychology term that says you just don't see your body as everyone else does. And that's a really interesting neurological concept because you actually never see yourself because you're only seeing a reflection of yourself, and the way the bilateralization and the way the brain even interprets, like say, an image or a picture, you would never actually see yourself. That's a little bit more philosophical. The reality of it is none of us see our bodies in the way that it actually is. So in a survey done by Planet Fitness, which I don't know the validity of that, so this is not research oriented per se, but 65% of people in 2019 found that the dad bod was attractive and that it was also associated with confidence and a comfortable lifestyle. I will say when I when I see people with 6, 8, 10 packs, I am my brain is just very judgmental. I'm just going to own it. My brain is thinking. One of my thoughts I always have is eat a cheeseburger, says a vegetarian. But there are genetics behind some of this. Genetics for some body composition. But the idea that there's confidence in this, I love. I love that because we don't need this fat shaming. We don't have to have like a one size fits all. Certainly, social media and celebrity culture has brought that to us. So again, a lot of people want to demonize social media or pop culture, but if dad bod becomes well, it has, as dad bod has become a thing, we can see that there are definitely going to be some changes there, and so there's health implications here. When some body fat is natural, but excess visceral fat is linked to increased risk of cardiovascular, type 2 diabetes, and other metabolic disorders. So what I'm saying here is the dad bod is the right amount of fat, and I like to say it's sort of like the tire, the tire around the waist. And the problem with this is that the CDC, we know that 42% of United States adults are obese. Now, obesity, the measurement of that BMI, body mass index, it's not a really accurate factor or depiction of it. And so, but there are variables that happen as we age. And so this dad bod of like, late 30s, 40s man, there is less testosterone. Metabolism has certainly slowed down and the lifestyle may have changed. Things like if you're a parent, career stress, as you increase in your career, there's more stress that's going on. So this is a good thing. Now you want to have some balance between it. That's why I'm bringing that up about this sort of that there are health risks if it's too much of a dad bod. So you want to balance, and this is that beautiful middle path, a balance between body positivity and health. So body positivity is important, but it should not lead to complacency. You want to be mindful of that, and sometimes some research has shown that dads will gain about 4.4 pounds after they have children, and that's not okay. One of the things I'll do as a psychologist with new parents is integrate your child into your exercise. Do some squats when you're hanging around, or play with them and be a kid, because that's also helping your mental health. So you want to stay healthy. You don't want to be obsessing about the gym. If anything that's excessive is going to be unhealthy. In 2022, an article that was published in the Journal of American Medical Association found that moderate weekly exercise significantly lowers health risks. It's 150 minutes a week. So it's not like you have to be there 3 hours a day. Really, if you just go that, just under 3 hours for the week, that you're going to have health benefits there. So one of the rules I kind of live by is when I get to the gym, if I don't feel into it, I leave. Like, I don't want to force anything about it. Obviously I need to force, and motivate myself to get there, but you don't want to obsess and you don't want to force too much. So other lifestyle changes would be there. So there's strategies with that. So again, if, work stress is really high and parenting is really stressful, find strategies where you can do it. For example, doing some biking or hiking with your kids if you have children. If you don't, that's okay. Do the biking and hiking on your own or with your partner. You want to avoid unhealthy foods. So I like to think about well-being and wellness in a holistic way. So you could have a dad bod and eat well. Find balance in that. So you don't want to just be kind of contributing, to that always. Be more efficient with your workouts. Again, you don't have to be there so much in that way. So there is no kind of standard for body image, especially when it comes to men. And, that's why I'm thrilled that there is this kind of dad bod thing. We've got all different kind of topics here on air with Dr. Pete. And so I really wanted to throw this out there because it came to mind. I was having a conversation or heard other people talking about it. And I was like, I bet you most people don't even know what dad bod is. And I'm glad that we're celebrating it because the days of emaciated and really skinny are gone. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. And it's not good for our young folks. And, we have this new generation alpha coming up and with millennials, and the impact that social media has made us a bit more sedentary. And so the more that you can acknowledge, but also commit, acknowledge and commit says kind of stick with it, stick with your plan. The dad bod challenges these unrealistic expectations. We are all not going to have a six pack, but let's shift more to health and well-being, right? So the truth is the person with the six pack is not necessarily healthy. They might not be nourishing their body in the same kind of way. Many of these diets, for example, anything that is like totally eliminating carbohydrates is not healthy. The body needs carbohydrates. Your neurons need carbohydrates. That's how the myelin sheath kind of operates. And so we have to really think about focusing more on this overall and general wellness and well-being, and just healthy at every size. There's not a one size fits all, and notice it. So again, I'm even judging the one that has the 6 of the 8 pack. I do so mindfully, meaning, I notice it, I recognize it, and I let it go. And obviously, I probably do it less, and the goal is to kind of eliminate some of that, but the brain will always judge. And so I'll end with this idea of like, you just need to have some kind of balance in life. And that's the middle path that I mentioned earlier, and focus on wellness and well-being. There's not one thing to do, and there's not like one formula, because if there was, we'd all be doing it. So you really have to find what works for you and embrace it. Notice that your body image is off. That's body dysmorphia. And let's just celebrate this. And this is a really cool opportunity, in 2025 to say, hey, dad bod, we got you. All right. Thanks always for tuning in today. If you love this episode, please head to our socials. Everything's at Official Dr. Pete. And please like, follow, and share with your friends and your loved ones wherever you listen to your podcasts. And until then, spread a little kindness and stay well.